What ruins a story for you?
Inauthenticity. Is that how you say that?
Yeah. I think, yeah.
When you know that it's not authentic, that is what really just ruins a film or a story for me. When you know this is not the exact example of what this person would have done, felt, or truly believed. I think it always just seems to take me out of the piece. Is when I see it's not authentic.
Is it the acting or is it the writing, how the character's portrayed?
I think it's a little bit of both. At times, I recently saw a play on Broadway where a woman was dealing with a very hard situation as far as her son and trying to figure out where he was and how he was. But I could also tell that the story wasn't authentically written. It didn't come from an authentic place. I think the actors did a phenomenal job with the material that she was given, but I feel like they were trying to tell a story as opposed to letting the story come from within. I think all of us get stories all the time and we want to go out and just tell those different stories. But I think the ones that resonate the most, they come from a place of authenticity. Not saying it necessarily has to be your story, but it has to just be authentic. And if it's authentic, people will connect with that.
Right, there's always, I mean, especially now there's a debate on can someone really tell a story about struggle or whatever if they haven't really lived it.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they've lived a total opposite.
Right. But the reality, because I kind of faced that with a recent project that I had done where I didn't have the same experience as the protagonist of the series, so I was kind of challenged on it in some ways. But there is a such thing as a human experience, right? And once you're able to find that human experience, everybody's dealing with the same things. We're all dealing with loss, we're all dealing with grief, we're all dealing with joy, we're all dealing with love, and we're all dealing with it in varying ways. And so the difference between something being inauthentic and not well-purposed, which that happens where people try to tell a story that they're not doing it, is it ain't come from a very human place. But if you come from a human place, people will always be able to see the authenticity. Waves is a great example of that. The filmmaker is white, but the story is black, but it resonates. The last black man in San Francisco, the filmmaker is white, the protagonist is black, but it relates because it's an authentic human story that anybody can buy into and believe in.
Yeah, I really love that movie. I hope it gets nominated.
Yeah, I hope it does too. I think it was a special piece of theater. I hadn't cried in the theater in such a long time, but just to know, because I've had that experience of like a friendship that just has run its course, and to see their friendship fall the way that it was just beautifully executed. The cinematographer was amazing.
Right, and they both, you know, the one character had more of a stable home life, and they tried to kind of take him in, but I think he knew, like, I don't really belong here.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to make it feel like I belong here, but I don't.
I don't belong here.
And so it was about place, it was about belonging. And I don't want to give it away for anybody who hasn't seen it, but yeah, it's a really beautiful film.
It was an exciting piece of work.
Yeah.
It really was.
I hope it gets some kind of
recognition.
Yeah, something.
Me too.
You know, it's hard when a lot of stories like that just kind of just get shelved. And yeah, that's why we need independent cinema. You know, it's when I go to, do you go to a lot of independent theaters?
Oh, I still do all the time. Still do. I'm still committed to that process because that's where I am. I'm an indie filmmaker. I'm not in the studio system, and in a lot of ways, while I regard it greatly, I'm not sure that that's where I'm supposed to be just yet. I'm supposed to be in the studio system because the independent system makes the most sense to me. Love having control over my stories and my ideas and to be able to accomplish those ideas in the most authentic way possible.
Right, and I think for me, I don't know, maybe for you too, but those are the stories that resonate with me the most.
Yep.
Are those indie stories, not the studio ones.
Yep.
Where no one claps when they get up and and okay, you know, time to go to grandma's house now, or where, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just saying, like, it's just a pit stop in between where I think people that go to independent cinema, it's to really feel something.
It's to experience it.
Be affected by it.
Absolutely.
And to have a conversation with a total stranger afterwards.
Absolutely.
That you wouldn't normally talk to.
Absolutely. That's absolutely the case. Absolutely.
Right, and I hope that doesn't go away, because I know those theaters are in danger sometimes because there's not enough money behind them. But.
Yeah.